These things are seriously so heavy. No. What is going on, everybody? How are you all doing? I hope you're having the greatest of days, and if not, I'm hoping I can make it that little bit extra special for you through sheer positivity. Please don't forget to absolutely smash that like button, comment down below, ring that bell, and do this to the subscribe button. Oh, that really hurt my arm. Oh, why the hell did I do that? I'm so excited for today's video. You obviously probably know what it is because you clicked on the video, but today I'm going to be going through my entire Lego collection, which you can see some of in the background, and you have been able to see in my past few videos. There's quite a lot to get through. I'm going to go through the main set up and around. There's a bunch of minifigures to go up and around, and then there's a few drawers to go through, so there's a lot to get through today. There's obviously a lot of sets here to get through, and if any of these sets you want to see us do a review, just let us know down below. I really do want to do reviews, but I just feel like a lot of these sets in particular have already been reviewed, and I don't really know what much more I can add because they're all brilliant sets and everything's already been set for them. Let us know what your favourite set is down below, and to be honest, if there's any space you can see that I could probably fit more Lego sets, let us know, because I'm totally out of ideas now. I'm at a point where I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shelves, 10 if you include my desk. I've completely run out of space. All Lego enthusiasts go through this point at some point during their career. And unfortunately, it's happened to me, but it's happened to me at such a young age, and because I'm in such a tiny bedroom, it's spurring us on to moving out. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. So I'm starting over here in the corner of my bedroom. I want to make this as like immersive as possible because, like I say, I'm really excited to show. So I'm slowly going to turn myself around, try and zoom out a bit to get as much in focus as possible. All that, all the ones back there. Then if I come over here and see if I can position it properly, there's that as well. Honestly, you can see like this room is absolutely tiny. It is flipped, obviously, as you can tell. But the fact that I am surprised about like how much I've actually been able to fit in here. It is quite impressive. I would just love to know what I'd actually be able to do with a much bigger room. Honestly, I would have every wall covered in shelves, in Lego. There'd be more Lego in my room than like anything else, without a doubt. I mean, there is right now, never mind in a big room. But without further ado, let's finally get to the actual tour. So the Disney Castle. I actually only recently got this set. The only reason I picked it up is because, can you see how tall this thing is? Seriously, this shelf is quite a ways off the top of the ceiling, and you can see it goes up and up and up, and it pretty much touches the ceiling. It's a really tall set. It definitely is one of my tallest sets, but I will turn this one around and show you all the interior details, but knowing me, I'll end up turning it and it'll fall and break, and that'll be disastrous. Plus, it's also on a shelf that is somehow managing to stay up. Yeah, thanks a lot, man, but she tried. Also, the minifigures in this set, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm just hoping it focuses because this phone really isn't good at focusing. Yeah, I am using my phone. Oh, yep, it's not focusing at all. I am using my phone. I do intend to get a camera, but it's quite a while till payday, so I do have to wait a bit for that. But yeah, this one, absolutely incredible. It's really tall, but it actually, to be fair, it's really big. Like if I put my hand next to it, it is absolutely huge. And the surprising thing is, it's only 4,000 pieces. Like, you think these ones that use 6,000 and that also uses 4,000, you think this one would be a bit smaller, but it does use a lot of like, you know, like bigger pieces as I'm showing here. I really shouldn't have took that off because I probably won't be able to get it back on now. We'll just see that one there. No one will ever notice. But yeah, like I said, with the minifigures, there's also obviously minifigures all the way around. I'll do them after I've done each set. But next we move on to the Harry Potter sets, which I initially only owned the Great Hall. But just like everything with Lego, once you buy one, you have to buy the second one, then the third one, and then the fourth one. And then the big one as well. Like, once you start, you literally just can't stop. But these sets are like, I don't know whether I prefer these ones or the big Hogwarts. These smaller sets, they're not as detailed, obviously, but the fact that they're minifigure scale and they do show a lot more of Hogwarts than the big one. I think I do prefer these ones. Like I say, I would turn them around, but 12 Harry Potters would end up on the Taj Mahal, Ron Weasley would end up on the other side of my room, so, you know, I'll end up knocking them. I'm pretty sure you've already seen them all by now, but these sets are also really impressive, and they do look absolutely amazing, all in a line. And it's obviously, you don't just get the castle with these sets either, you do get bits of the greenhouses. You can see the boat back there in the Whomping Willow. You do get the flying Ford Angular and the Whomping Willow in the Whomping Willow set, which makes sense. But the observing viewers probably notice that, yeah, I am missing a few bits of the Hogwarts, which are in those drawers there. But like I say, if I had all the bits of Hogwarts there, it would come all the way along, and it would be too much space, so the Disney castle wouldn't be able to fit on, and obviously I've got no space, so now that I've done this shelf, let's move on to the main shelves. Big Ben. This set is incredible. I'm going to try, I mean, you guys probably know by now, but if I can sort of get my hand behind there, you should be able to see, oh, I'm not strong enough there, the clock is turning. That is one of the most difficult mechanisms I've ever had the misfortune to actually build, because I don't know why, it just wouldn't work for some reason. I don't know whether one of my pieces were like broken or whether I'm just an idiot who can't build Lego properly. I couldn't get it working for so long. It wasn't until I took it down to dust and I rebuilt it back up and actually looked at the instructions, I actually had a piece in the wrong place. So that's why it would never work. When I mean piece in the wrong place, it means like one piece wasn't like pressed down properly, so it wouldn't like reach the turning mechanism. It was really, really frustrating. But yeah, this set, I feel like this set could also be something like Hogwarts, and those Hogwarts is up there. I feel like this could be something that is extended at some point, because obviously Big Ben or Houses of Parliament is a pretty big building. This is only a facade, it's only one small section of the entire thing, and it is a lot of tan. I could like destroy that and destroy a few other tan sets and build an extension of that, but like I say, where the hell would I put it? So the most random place possible, I've just got this old Lego City plate, and I'm actually going to try and take this one out without totally destroying my display. Oh, yep. Yeah, I think everybody's pretty much seen this plane. It's from like 2008, or it was really long ago. I've had this one for quite a long time. It is a cool plane. It's definitely better than like the most recent one, because this one, you actually build this one. I'll try and focus, so yeah. All these like wings and every like part pretty much is built by bricks, not just like a big chunk of plastic, which the front is a bit, so is the back and the wing and a few of the wings on the back, but it's a cool set. I really do like this plane. I'm gonna have to try and put it back up there now without totally destroying my display. Intense moment. Yes. Right, this one. This one is in the middle of my display for a reason. This is the one that you look at first because it's dead in the centre, and it's sort of like aligned with the pictures as well. So like the tower sort of fit between that Link and Peach picture. I put this one in the middle because it's my favourite Lego set of all time. Spoiler alert for a future video, it really is. This is the set that got us back into Lego. Every Lego fan has that phase where they build Lego for like a couple amount of years and then they just stop for whatever reason. That was me. Before this set, the last Lego set I got was the Republic Gunship in 2013. After that, I was a pubescent teenager. I was at school. I didn't want anybody knowing I was building Lego and playing with Lego, so I stopped. I took down all my sets, put Grand Theft Auto posters on the wall, Call of Duty posters, just to make myself look cool. And like I say, I took all this down, and it wasn't until the end of 2016, some like 3 and a bit years later, I seen this in the Lego store, and I thought to myself, I have to get that. It also helps that I've also visited this monument as well, and it's just as impressive there as it is here. It really is good. But like I had a paper round at the time, and my customers and the people I work with were so nice. And because it was Christmas, you usually get tips. And I had loads of customers on my round, and because they were so nice, the number of tips I got, I saved up throughout the month of December to buy this set. And this set is quite expensive. So it does put it in perspective of like how much money I actually did earn just from tips on my paper round. Like I say, it's really nice with my customers. And this is why it's my favourite set. Only thing I don't like about it, it's a bit of a pain to build because everybody knows this by now. Those tiny cheese scopes that are perched on all 4 corners of both towers. So you've essentially got to do the same thing. Let's say 4, 8, 12, 16, 16 times 16, 16, add 16, sorry, 32. It really is, it does add up, and it really is tedious, and it really does hurt your hands at the end of it, but it's worth it. It's one of those sets that the build, you don't really build it for the build, you build it to be displayed because it's a really impressive set. It really is. But it's also, it is quite a nightmare to dust. But I feel like I've spent way too long on this one, so I best move on to the next one now. I'm just going to get up on my bed and hopefully I don't fall through and break my nose. Just balancing. So this one, I'll be able to take this. I'll be able to take this one out. Oh. Yeah, I'm way too clumsy. Yeah, this is just Z-95 Headhunter. It's from the Clone Wars, but I haven't got up to that point of the Clone Wars yet. I think I'm only on like season 3, but I haven't watched it in a while. But it's a cool set. It does have a shooting mechanism, which I can see if I can shoot Mario. Mamma mia! No, that's not even in properly. It would help. Oh, there, it worked. I don't know where it went, but it worked. You see, it's gone. I do like those spring fire missiles. I think they're much better than the new ones, because these ones could actually hurt somebody. Right, I'll put that one over there for now while I move on to the next one. X-Wing Starfighter 2012. This has got to be the best one they've ever made. I'm probably biased because it's the only one I own and it's from the time that I've really got into Lego. I don't know, I just feel like the new X-Wings as of late have been a lot more towards sequel trilogy, which for obvious reasons. And the most recent one from 2021, I do want to pick up and do a complete comparison to this one. But I just feel like the new one is obviously on a total different scale, as in it's made for like juniors and stuff, whereas this was, it's pretty good for what it is. It doesn't have the most amount of pieces in the world, and it isn't the most difficult set, but I just feel like for what it is, it's a really good X-Wing. And yeah, this is sort of like the only way I can display it easily. I feel like it works. It obviously shows the X as well as it would on the side. But yeah, that's that one. I really do like the X-Wing. I mean, I don't actually have a TIE Fighter. It's something that I really should own by now, but I haven't bought Lego Star Wars in a while. I've just been so busy buying like all the other bigger sets like down there. As you can tell, I really do like showing my collection from different angles. It just makes it look bigger than it actually is. Next, R2-D2. As you can see, sun bleach is literally everywhere on this model. The problem is, I originally had this model on the windowsill down there, next to that stormtrooper right there, in direct sunlight. So one side of the model was completely yellow, and you can see like it's all over the model now, because what I did is I took this down, like I said. When I was younger, I took this down because I didn't want to play with Lego anymore, because I'd grown out of it. And when I rebuilt it recently, last year actually, obviously all the sun bleach pieces are now like sort of all over the model. It's not too bad, but it's just the whites in particular. You can see like on the bottom towards like the feet, like that foot is really bad. I apologise for the lighting, but there's not really much I can do. It's all over the back, and it's all the pieces inside. It's obviously on that side of the model as well. But anyways, I have heard that this set is actually getting re-released this year. So that'll be very, very good, because I can take this one down for parts and then get the new one. Because I really do want to, like, I think there's hydrogen peroxide you can use, if I've seen on the internet. But I'm a bit clumsy. I don't really trust myself with that. I'll end up burning my arm off or something because I'm an idiot. But yeah, I really do. I am looking forward to the re-release. I think it comes May the 4th, so I'll definitely be doing a review on that one. I could even compare it to this one if it's slightly different, but like I say, the sun bleach doesn't really give us a good reputation. Next one, Millennium Falcon. This is the 2011, I think. 2011 Millennium Falcon. It's obviously based off A New Hope. This is the only Millennium Falcon I own, and obviously it's pretty dated by now. You can see this is obviously the one with the gaps, whereas the new Rise of Skywalker one doesn't have the gaps. I still think this looks fine for what it is. This was like the first big Lego set I actually got. When I say big, I mean like 1,200 pieces, because this is one that I've had like, God, it must be like 11 years now. Well, yeah, it came out in 2010. Yeah, it would have been 11 years this year. Yeah, it's one that I've had for a very long time. And like I say, I would take it out and show you some more angles, but it's a bit dusty and I don't want to be embarrassed, and I'll end up knocking all my figures down because they're not on by anything. But this one really is good. I mean, I can maybe show you the interior if you haven't seen the interior. Obviously, like the UCS one and the episode 9 one is much better, but that's obviously where they play chess, where Chewbacca rages because he gets destroyed by R2-D2. Take my advice, let the boogie win. Oh, just trying to close the back up now. Right, I'll move on to Empire State Building. You're probably thinking, why is the Empire State Building in here with all my like Star Wars sets? Like I say, there's no other way to put it. I've run out of space. But this one is also really repetitive. As you can see, you get, I think it's somewhere around like 500 of those grill pieces, because you got to think it's on all sides of the model, up and down. And like, this is quite a tall set, so you can see compared to a few of the others, it's like, it doesn't compare to the wind turbine or anything, but it is really tall. I couldn't really fit it on like those shelves like between, like that shelf with the assembly square on it would probably be too tall. But yeah, there's not really much to say about this one. This is one of my most recent ones, but what I do like are the little taxis at the bottom. I'm a sucker for micro scale. Like, most of my sets are micro scale sets because I really do like them. But yeah, I really do like those taxis. It's sort of like suggestion of a sidewalk there as well, and like the glass at the bottom. But looking up at this one, it really is impressive. And I've never actually been to New York either. I've actually never left my home country. I've never really sort of been on holiday, and New York is definitely a bucket list. If I go to New York, I will probably take this set with us, put it next to the Empire State Building and take a picture. Now that would be a brilliant picture. But going from the Empire State Building, I'm moving on to also another set that got us back into the Lego. The 20th anniversary slave one. This is actually a gift from my best friend who actually went to Florida and rang us when he was in Florida saying, Ian, I bought you a gift. And I was like, wait, really? And he was like, yeah, I bought you a Lego set. And I was like, oh my God, you are like the greatest person on the planet. But I'm ever so thankful for it. This, like I say, this was also one that got us back into Lego. I think this came out in 2019. So yeah, it wasn't too long after I got Tower Bridge. This is one that like probably got us back into it. Like I said before, this one has the new Affleck fire missiles, which I don't think are as good as the original ones, but I really am ever so thankful for this set. I really do have the greatest of friends. Yeah. This one's really sort of awkwardly displayed as well, because it's sort of like leaning on its front and like leaning on the back, but I've nearly broken my neck. There's like an air vent here, so there's not really much I can do. I would love to display it on its back, but then again, you couldn't really see it either. There's enough about that one. We've got Jabba's Palace here. Oh, controversy alert. Yeah, I bought this set way before I even knew the controversy was a thing. It turns out the only reason it's controversy is because of that. The flick fire missile, which is actually not even in there. I don't know where that's even gone. But like I say, this is also a really good set as well. Like, I can maybe show you the interior. I can potentially take the roof off. It's a bit dusty, I do apologise. Yeah, it's a bit dark and the lighting isn't great. Let's hope that betters when I get my new camera. But that's just Jabba's Palace, not really much else to say about it. But I do like that printed piece for that sort of like communications thing that C-3PO talks to. And you've obviously got the turrets on the front, which do move, but they are a bit flimsy. Probably because it's an old set, like mine has a lot of wear and tear, because I used to play with this one a lot when I was younger. But yeah, it's a really cool set. But for this next one, you've probably seen it lurking in the shadows throughout this entire video so far. I'm going to go all the way back for this one. I hope it focuses. Yes, it does. Vestas wind turbine. And I'll turn this one on, because if you don't know, this one actually turns on. And it's actually getting stuck on everything. Let's put it forward a bit. Oh, there. It lights up at the bottom, as you can see, and it spins around. I mean, my room does, because it's such a small room, my room does get quite hot. So I sometimes just put this on, believe it or not, and it does cool it down. I wish. But yeah, this Vestas wind turbine, I think it's one of, if not the tallest set Lego's ever made. Like, when that blade's at the very top, I think it's like a metre and a bit tall. I think it's just over a metre. But it really is cool. When I saw that they re-released this one, I was like, oh, I have to get this. But this was also one that I didn't get till recently. And I'm actually going to turn this one off now, because it is very loud. Oh, it's a nightmare to turn off. And I've ended up knocking a bunch of my Simpsons figures down. Brilliant. But you also get like a small truck with this one as well. It's very basic, but it does have the nice printed piece Vestas on the sides, both sides. And minifigures, obviously I'll show you later on, are exclusive to that set as well. But over here, before I ended up knocking all my Simpsons characters down, I do have the entirety of Series 1. I've knocked down Homer, Marge, Flanders, Krusty, Chief Wiggum and Mr. Burns. So it leaves you up here with the rest of Series 1. And I do intend to get the entirety of Series 2 as well. But these Simpsons figures and sets do cost a pretty penny now, because they are relatively old. They've all retired, and Lego don't really seem to be making any more of them, which is a shame. But amongst these Simpsons characters, I also have a Luke Land Speeder, which pretty much every Lego fan has. Just some random Super Mario collectible minifigure series, and an Indiana Jones set, which I do have more of, but I don't have them on display because I don't have any space and I don't just want them to collect dust. Because dusting all this in one day is enough work as it is, never mind dusting even more. Well, I'm going to pick those ones up and then I'll move on to the next one. I'm coming to get a glass of water because my throat is absolutely dry from talking for 15 minutes. Right, now that I've given me voice a rest, I'm going to move on to the Malevolence. Also a set I don't really hear a lot of people talk about, and it's one that I have had for a while because this came out in 2012, I think. I got this at Christmas with Jabba's Palace, both those sets off my mum, and I was so excited, as you probably could predict. But this one, yeah, I really don't see a lot of people talk about. I think it is a bit underrated. And because it has been so long since the set's come out, I really feel like the LEGO should generally do a remake of this one. Or maybe it's like some sort of UCS model, because the UCS sets are always from the original trilogy. We've never really had one from like the Clone Wars or anything. Or even like the prequel trilogy. Not a lot. But this one obviously like fires out like that. Like you see in the Clone Wars. I don't know why I'm doing this because I'm going to have to pick them up and I have no idea where they would have gone. But this one does open up as well. It comes out at the front. Oh, I'm going to open. Like you say, I mean, you can't really see much in there, but I'm assuming you probably already know what it looks like by now. This one and the one next to it, the Public Gunship, I've really ordered to display because I don't just want to put this up there along the shelf because it's not very tall, like it's pretty small. It's really ordered to display, so I've just hung it from there, resting it on my television and hanging it from there. I feel like it works. It just does get a bit dusty and it is a bit hard to see against the grey background on a grey and blue ship, but it'll do for now. Hopefully when I move out I'll be able to get a better place for this one. The minifigures, this one's pretty cool as well, like the Clone Wars General Grievous, even though the Clone Wars Count Dooku does look strange. Still is a good figure. But I'm going to be moving on to this Republic Gunship, which I really do hear a lot of people talk about. Probably because it's the most recent one and it is a fabulous model. Very accurate. And obviously you can tell that I am missing a few pieces because I walk this way quite a lot between my telly and my PC and my consoles and stuff, so I have ended up knocking it, and you'd think once you've knocked it, it would fall straight down onto the floor. But it is a bit of a cluster, you know, down here, so I have no idea where it's gone, pretty much. But this one, yeah, it's a really cool model. This one also obviously is also ordered to say, so that's why I've sort of hung it from there, so it fills in that. Oh, and I've just totally spilled me water. That's the lesson for today, kids. Don't put your water on the floor next to electrical sockets, because that's how everything goes boom boom. As I was saying before, my bedroom decided to turn into the River Nile. I'm hanging this from a sort of hook that's just sort of like screwed into there. Keeps it there. I'm somehow, I don't know how these shelves are actually still, because this one in particular, there's a lot of weight on it. But there must be pretty good shelves, and I best stop doing that because they will end up falling. So let's move on to sort of like my Lego City section, which is probably not the most impressive section, but I've got a lot of older sets. Like you can see this Rocket Center is from, I think, 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. I got this for like my 9th or my 10th birthday. I can't quite remember, but I was so excited to get this set. Like, look at it. It's a fabulous play set. It's really tall as well. So tall, in fact, that this shelf here, before I even put this one up, was a bit higher. So like the lowest point of the shelf was probably about there. And all these sets here, like the tray and the PlayStation, the truck, all them would fit on. Because you can see between here there is quite a big clearance. So when that shelf was a bit higher, this would probably come up to about here. You can see there's not a lot of clearance here, even as it is now. This rocket would not fit. So I had to get my mum, because I'm an idiot who doesn't know how to do it myself, to lower the entire shelf. Which is also why you can see a hole in the wall. And yeah, it's a bit clumsy, but it'll do. I've been able to fit the rocket down there. But yeah, this set's really cool. Not all the figures you see here are actually from the set. I think you only get like a few spacemen. You get the main general behind there, who I've called James for whatever reason. That's just what I called him when I was younger. Yeah, and this rocket is really tall. I'd love to see like the Saturn V rocket in this set. Now the Saturn V rocket would probably go there from there all the way up and touch my ceiling, because that is a really tall set. But yeah, it's obviously quite a basic set. It doesn't have that many pieces. It's a lot of like bigger pieces because it is obviously for the younger demographic. If I was the age I was back, if I was the age like I am now and this set come out, obviously I wouldn't have bought. This is obviously something that I really did like when I was younger. Like all these city sets in particular. Maybe it's not the train, because I'd probably still buy the train today. I wouldn't really buy it today because these are all like really childish sets, as you can see. But I really do like them. They sort of like fill in the display for now. But if I do ever like severely run out of space, these will probably be the first ones that get taken down. But it's, you know, for these city sets do give you a pretty good foundation for a city. Like already I've got, you know, the space center, the police station for the modulars, the car, the turbine. Like it could, like, eventually one day when I do move out, or if I get given a bigger room, which would be incredible, I could, you know, eventually start building my city just from all the extra sets that I've got. So, and I do have a lot smashed up, but that's a tangent and a half. So let's move on to the next one. Police station. I feel like a lot of people would agree that this is the best police station they've ever made, not including the new modular. But as a city set, this is really good. It's quite big as well. Like, it's on like a base plate to there and a half. So it's like the size of Assembly Square. It's like the length of Assembly Square. It's pretty tall as well. It's 3 floors tall. Obviously, you've got the antennas on top. And if you have the helicopter, which I do have, just smashed to pieces, you can put it on top of there. It does make it taller and just make it look a lot better. But obviously, there's a bunch of figures around here, and the observing viewer has probably spied this Series 20, I think it's Series 20, somewhere around there. Series 20 police officer, which, believe it or not, that was the first bag I picked up of the entire series, because I haven't really bought minifigures in a while. And I went to my local supermarket and found one. So I was like, I may as well buy it. And it turned out to be the policeman, and I got home, and it turns out this one is apparently the rarest of the series. So my luck must have been out of the world on that day. Let's see, I would turn this one around, but there's not too much. Like, these doors do open to put the criminals in. These garage doors do open to put the cars in, which is pretty cool. Obviously, all the doors, windows open. There's a bunch of figures here. Not all these figures that you see are from the set. But this is the police station that featured in Lego City Undercover, which is one of my favourite games of all time. A highly underrated game. It really is. But without further ado, I guess I should move on to these ones now. You got the 2012, sorry, I get mixed up with the years of all these sets. I think this is a 2012 passenger train, and it does still work. So if I put you over there, I think you can see, yeah, you can see the green light in there. I do have the remote control somewhere on one of those drawers behind us, but it still works to this day. Very good job, Lego. 10 years later, and it still works. But yeah, this train has a lot of seats inside. I think this carriage has 6 and that one has 4, so it can fit 10 people, which is sizable. But moving on from the train, you got this toy truck, which I'm pretty sure everybody has. Every like Lego City tour, like Lego Collection tour I've seen, everybody has this Lego truck. It's pretty well known at this point, so not really much else to say about it. The same can be said for this tank truck as well. Pretty much everybody has this set. It's a set that I just got given at Christmas, didn't really ask for it, but I am glad I have got, because it's sort of like a classic at this point. It's very old. And here it's just a few of the minifigures from Harry Potter, a Monkey Kid Polybag, which pretty much everybody has. The diner car, which I haven't really got space for, but it sort of does get covered by the top of Hogwarts. A police bike, which was supposed to represent me granda. And it's just a satellite launch pad car, which doesn't really have much in. But moving on from the city, we'll get to probably my favourite display. Not just because it's the modular buildings and they look absolutely incredible when they're like this, but as you can see, there's a lot of minifigures here. The modulars without minifigures are quite bare. It's just like an empty street. It's a ghost town. But once you populate it with a bunch of figures and you start making like your own stories and stuff, it really does look good. I'll go into more depth with these stories when I eventually get to the minifigures. But I'm just going to sort of skim through them now. But I populated it a lot. I even populated it up on the roofs just to make it a bit more lively. You can see Santa over there. And a few others. Yeah. I do intend to get more modular buildings, because obviously this side right now is a bit jarring. I feel like I'm going to get the corner garage eventually when it comes in stock to go on this side of Assembly Square. Then obviously I need the new police station, which I want to put the police station on the right side of the bookshop, but on the left side of the diner, and then the diner towards Assembly Square. So it's sort of be the bookshop, the police station, the diner, Assembly Square, and the corner garage, which will probably take up most of that entire shelf just until you get to my hoodies. So I feel like I could probably fit 2 more modulars there. So that's pretty much why I've got these ones here. Just the extra smaller Harry Potter sets, just to fill up this little bit of it, so it's just not completely empty. And it's just got the extra figures down here, sort of like the rejects of my Lego collection, because they don't fit up there. So they're all down here. So that's that shelf. There's not really too much to say about that one, but it's all this shelf's pretty much minifigure oriented, so I will get into it a lot more when I do showcase the minifigures. I'll show you the interiors. The only interior that I'd want to show is this one, because this is like the best interior. I absolutely love this interior. It's like the dream house for an Eiffel. I'm sorry the lighting's terrible, but I'm sure you've seen it all before. I just want to point out in that corner there, the Eiffel Tower. Oh, one of my favourites at all time. Obviously I don't own it, but I really do want to own it at some point. But when I was building that set, I thought that was a tease for like a re-release, because I thought this set came out recently, because it obviously still hasn't retired yet. But it turns out this set is 2017, so it is quite old. So I did think that that was teasing like a re-release of the Eiffel Tower, but guess what? In 2017, we've got a re-release of that one. So you never know. We might get a re-release of I think it's 1018 Eiffel Tower, which will be covered on this channel straight away, because I absolutely love that set. So second to last, Hogwarts. I'm just going to take a seat, because I feel I'll be standing a while for this one, because it is very big. As you can see, it absolutely dwarfs my desk. It actually hangs off. It's way too big. And the lighting is terrible here. It doesn't really give as much space when I'm on my PC to like move my mouse, because it's like, yeah, it's a design flaw. You can see where my priorities are. I'd rather have more Lego on my desk than actual things that will help us do work. But this one's massive. The only thing I really don't like about it is this top bit is a bit fragile. It's probably because it is leaning against the back of the shelf, but I think it's only on by like a few studs, and it just comes off really easy. I'm not going to like intentionally pull it off, but it really is fragile. And also, like, so little of Hogwarts is actually represented here. But like I say, like, if they were to do an entire scale Hogwarts, it would probably be about 30,000 pieces, and it cost an absolute fortune. And this already cost a pretty penny to sell. It's currently the most expensive set I own. A lot of money. But with this one, you get an actually genius 4-piece forward angular, which you've obviously all seen by now. I mean, if you have the pieces at home, I don't see why you couldn't make it. Oh, that's one. I'm dropping it everywhere. It's upside down. Yeah, it's literally made by 4 pieces, and it's actually really impressive that they're able to do this. It's a brilliant little build. It's one of my favourite parts of the set. Obviously, this one you do get a lot of the smaller micro figures as well, which are just placed around the entire castle to make it lively a bit. I would turn this one around, but like I say, I will end up like knocking it over or falling or something. But I'm pretty sure you have all seen the interior by now. Now, this set really is impressive. This one in particular did take a long time to build, because it is 6,000 pieces, and it is a lot of smaller pieces. Like, you see those cheese slopes here? You take them off, and like, there's about 500 of these in this set, just purchased for like all the rock details around. Trying to figure out where these went step by step was an absolute nightmare, because you'd have like a picture of this, and it would tell you to put one of those down, and then you'd have to look at all the ones to see which one was missing on yours. It really was quite difficult to do. But that's Hogwarts. And also you get the Hungarian Horntail from the Goblet of Fire up there as well. That's a pretty cool build. Really impressive. But actually, I actually want to spit facts here. This set's official piece count is 6,020. That one is, I think, 5,923. So for argument's sake, there's about 100 piece difference between that set. Hogwarts is 100 pieces bigger than that. But that's not actually true. With this set, you get 23 micro figures. You get the car. You get Hungarian Horntail. You get the one from Willow, Hagrid's hut, which are also behind there. The boats, which are also behind there. So you add up the piece count from those extra builds and take it away from that 6,000 piece set. That actually has more pieces than that castle itself. So arguably, my biggest set I own is actually the Taj Mahal, not that one. If you are following us, if you know what I mean. But it's because the piece count of these two are so close. And because of that, I really find it interesting to see that that's 6,000 pieces, and so is that. It's like, it just proves like the sheer amount of things you can actually do with Lego. These have the exact same piece count, but they've produced 2 completely different models. It really is fascinating. But finally, we'll get to the last Lego part of my entire room. Is what I would like to say if those drawers weren't filled with Lego and those drawers weren't filled with Lego. And I still haven't fixed this, because every time I do fix it,
and knock it over again within like seconds. So this one is a set that I never thought I would ever own, because I used to look at this set ages ago when I was the younger fan of Lego, and by then it had retired because it came out in like 2007, so that was a long time ago. And I just never thought that I would ever be able to own this like magnificent set. And then when this got re-released in 2017, I was one happy boy, because I knew I had to add this to my collection, because I am like obviously a big sucker for those big world building series. I really need the Sydney Opera House, and I really want the Eiffel Tower, but I really had to get this one when it was released. It really is an impressive set. It is all white, and the only thing I find with it is if it is in direct sun, it will bleach. Like I say, that R2-D2 back there has really scarred us, because this one was so much more expensive, and it's arguably so much more valuable, and even more valuable now that it's retired for a second time. I really don't want it to get sun bleached or destroyed in any way, so I'm trying to preserve it. But yeah, but it's the detail on this set. Like there's a lot of repetition in this one. You've got to do 4 identical corners of the base, 1 front, 1 back. So that's 6 parts around the bottom. 4 or 3 towers in my case. Towers. The 4 giant domes. The 1 colossal dome. You've got to do 4 of these sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 4 corner bits, which it does take a long time. And you'd think the instruction manual would be like about that thick, because it's a really big set. But to be honest with you, it's honestly it's about as thick as like a modular building, like the bookshop or something. It's quite thin, surprisingly. It's because you do the exact same thing about 4 times each thing. So you get through like 50 pages and it'll say times 4, back to 1, to 50. Then it goes back and forth. So it is really repetitive. Just like the new Colosseum, which again I will end up picking up eventually because I really do like it. But yeah, this one is arguably one of my favourites as well, just like Tower Bridge. It kept us busy during the lockdown for a long time. It's still not over. There's 3 drawers here, which the top one has, like I said earlier, the extensions of Hogwarts, which don't fit up there, and I don't want just to leave them lying around so they don't get dusty. You've got that one from the clock tower, Snape's office, I think, from the one from Willow, and then a bunch of old Indiana Jones sets, such as the Jungle Cutter from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which I think isn't even a terrible film. Has a few bad parts, like every film, but it's not awful. That's a Jungle Cutter. Got the Shanghai Chase, which the cars from Indiana Jones are really good. I love the wheels that they use, but they are very big, very detailed cars as well. There's that one, which the henchmen go in. You got Short Round's car, which I always dreamed about having in a Lego set, because I used to love this car, playing it on the original game. Fantastic game, by the way. Yeah, but it's in this way. I won't take everything out, but you've got Jabba the Hutt for whatever reason, Snape's table, sorry, in a few sets. I think the sets are the Jungle Cutter, the Shanghai Chase, Ambush in Cairo, I think is what that set's from. What else? Ambush in Cairo, Motorcycle Chase, and obviously the Lost Tomb, which is over that way. That's pretty much it for there. I just keep these ones in here, which I don't have enough display for, and I just don't want them to get dusty. And these are all quite rare sets. Like these Indiana Jones ones in particular did cost a lot of money. They're all second hand. They really are cool sets. I really want the Temple Escape, the Temple of Doom, and the Temple of the Crystal Skull. Pretty much all the big ones and all the ones that are incredibly rare. And nobody has. In here, there is Lego in here. This just looks like your stereotypical 4-year-old Lego drawer, where it has Lego in, smashed to pieces, but it's also just got a lot of random crap in, like a Zoidberg and an old Yoshi doll. Oh, I forgot I even had that. A few Amiibo. I think there's a few more in there somewhere. But this has got, I think in here, as the Hogwarts Express, which is all smashed up. Unfortunately, I don't have space for this one either. I don't know what else is in here. It's another Amiibo. It's not Lego, but it's Mario. Yeah, it's just a lot of smashed up stuff in here. I do have these as well, which I don't know if you remember. They are like the Planet series from like 2012. Like I say, like the time that I was pretty much a massive Lego fan. This is Coruscant. I think I've got Coruscant, the Death Star, Naboo, Tatooine, And there's another one, but I can't think of it right now. Indoor, that's it. I've got indoor. I got those 5, and that's it. I think that's it for Lego in there. And there's nothing really of any interest in that bottom drawer. But what I have remembered about is this bag here, which is just full of miscellaneous figures. It's quite got quite a lot of figures in. I just don't know what to do with them. There's a few Ninjago figures. There's a bunch of the ones from like series, particularly like series 5, 6, 7, 8, like when I really started collecting them. But the last Lego oriented thing in this room are these 3 drawers here. But when I add them up, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drawers of Lego, and then I come over here and only about 3 drawers here are filled with clothes. So as a 19-year-old in 2021, I can successfully say I've got more drawers of Lego than I do clothes. Now that is worrying. But before we actually get to that, I do want to show, I know they're not Lego orange, but I do want to show these 2 things in particular. This is my tripod. Believe it or not, this is how I record my videos. I put my phone there and it shoots over there once that chair is turned. I could buy a tripod, but I do procrastinate spending money. Yeah, believe it or not, I procrastinate spending money. I also want to show off this Mario as well. Have you ever seen a Mario look so fine? You know, he's got his Rolex watch. He's got his Gucci necklace. His Alexandra McQueen shoes. And he's got his like £850 Peaky Blinders cap. Limited edition. Like, this guy looks incredible. But that's not what we're here for. So I thought it was a good idea to take all these bags out, which house all of my pieces, colour-coded. So I've got my browns over there, which will probably break eventually, because that's what brown pieces do. Oranges, clears, greens, whites, light greys, dark greys, yellows. So this one, I think, blacks. And then these 2, blues and reds. That's how I sort my pots, but I know people have like a lot more space and they do it a lot more efficiently. They're separated not only by colour, but by piece as well. Like within here, you've got plates and bricks and like Technic pieces, like all sorts, whereas I've just got them all jumbled in one colour, which it is a bit of a pain when you're looking for that one piece. But that's how I sort all that out, and all these drawers are just filled with like Lego sets that I just smashed up. Like there's a few Ninjago sets in here that I have that I haven't rebuilt. There's a bunch of Star Wars ones which I don't have built anymore. City ones, just a lot of sets that I just don't have built up because I don't have the space. When I do eventually have the space, I will be rebuilding them and hopefully get them all back up. But on to the minifigures now. This last little bit, I'm just going to slowly skim through all the figures because I'm really low on storage on my phone now, and it keeps cutting off every time I've done this. I really do need to get a camera, but I'm pretty sure you've seen them all as I was going around anyways. And it's not like it's any figures you haven't seen before. Slowly going through them all them ones. Figures too here, like I said, aren't obviously part of all these sets. And then just these last ones here. I'd love to go through them all detailed, but like I say, I really don't have a lot of storage left, so that's it for the figures. And before my phone completely dies on us, I just want to quickly wrap things up. I just also want to say thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate every little thing that you guys do for us. I've also got a Twitter and an Instagram, which I'll insert right here. So you can follow us, check us out, and send us pictures of your collections. Just want to talk, anything, I'll be more than happy to. More than happy to meet new people. So I just want to say again, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.